Start by opening the bonnet and using a suitably sized jack, lift both front wheels of the car off the ground. Place stands under the car and lower the car onto them. Leave the jack in place as a security measure. Remove the wheel. Here we use WD-40 to ensure we do not ruin the threads of the wheel bolts. Place the wheel in a safe place. Twist the wheel hub so that you can get at the brake assembly. In our case, we decided to take apart the whole assembly for inspection. However, this assembly will come off in one piece if you loosen only the main bolts. Loosen the main bolts holding the assembly on as shown, and then remove the two bolts holding the hydraulic assembly. Lever this out and off. You can then remove the brake pads and their end clips, keeping track of which came from the front and back. Remove the remaining bracket. Lever out the ABS and hydraulic cables from the shock holder, taking care as this process can be a little tricky. Place the hydraulic assembly in a safe place. We used a cable tie as shown. Remove the stabiliser bar nut and set the bar aside. You can then remove the ABS sensor connector, taking care not to damage it. Turn the brake disc assembly so you can get at the main bolts holding the suspension unit or shock in. Remove the bottom bolt and prepare the top bolt for removal. However, leave it slightly in to support the shock while we undo the top piston bolt. Remove the plastic cap and then loosen and remove the nut. In our case, this nut was on very tight, so it may take quite a force to loosen. You can use other tools to extend the arms of your spanners for more leverage. Then remove the locating washer. You can now remove the top main bolt to release the shock from the car. Place the shock in a vise or in a place where you can work on it. Place spring compressors on opposing sides of the spring and tighten gradually, working evenly on both sides until the piston rod nut is no longer under tension. You can then remove this nut, which may also be on very tight. Be wary that there is no tension on this nut, or it may fire upwards when released, causing injury. You can then take off the washers, bearing mount and bump stop. Cut the cable tie holding the dust cover on and slide it off before removing the spring and spring seat. Undo the hose clamp at the bottom of the dust cover and remove it. You may wish to take this opportunity to give it a clean. Place your new shock back into the vise. Here you can see the difference between the old and new shocks. Replace the dust cover and tighten the hose clamp. Then you can place the spring and spring seat back into position, ensuring that the end of it fits into the notch in the new shock, as shown. You can now fit a new cable tie onto the dust cover at the top. Then replace the bearing and various washers, ensuring that they are in the correct order and orientation as when they came off. As you can see, the old bearing mount is worn down, so you may wish to take this opportunity to replace it. Using a new piston rod nut, tighten it down and then release the spring compressors gently. You can then put the new shock assembly back into the car, starting with the locating washer and nut, and then a new set of main bolts. Ensure that the head of the main bolts are facing the front of the car. This ensures that any rock or debris on the road will not hit and loosen the nuts. Tighten these nuts and then tighten the piston nut above the locating washer. Remember to replace the plastic cap. Replace the stabilizer bar and then the brake assembly, ensuring that all bolts and nuts are tight. Use the clips included with the new shock to hold the brake and ABS sensor cables in place. Replace the wheel, ensuring that all nuts are sufficiently tight, and then start the car. It is very important, since we touch the brakes, to pump the brake pedal to re-establish pressure in the brake system. Take the car out for a run on some quiet streets to check for noises, correct operation, and to ensure that the brakes work as expected.